Kevin Mitnick became the poster boy for hackers everywhere when, in the early 90s, he hacked into nearly everything, including Nokia, Motorola, and IBM. But in 1993, after making one hack too many into telephone service company Pacific Bell, the FBI began investigating him. This manhunt was widely publicized, and Mitnick went on the run for 2.5 years. He was eventually caught in 1995 and served 5 years in prison. The court found him so threatening that for 8 months of his sentence, he was placed in solitary confinement. Law enforcement had convinced the judge that he could start a nuclear war by whistling codes into a payphone. No longer considered an international threat today, Mitnick uses his powers for good and works as a cybersecurity advisor for several of his former targets, including IBM and the FBI. A mentor is supposed to take you under their wing and show you the ways of the world. But instead, 16-year-old Richard Price was shown the dark side of the Matrix when he and his 21-year-old mentor Matthew Bevan committed a series of hacks against government agencies. Together, they hacked the United States Air Force, NASA, and NATO, copying battlefield simulations and trying to find evidence of UFOs. In addition, the pair hacked into the Korean Atomic Research Institute database and copied the information onto the United States Air Force systems. The US didn't know who had given them the information and were concerned that if North Korea found out, they could accuse them of spying and potentially threaten war in return. Luckily, the data was South Korean, meaning any potential tension could have been easily de-escalated. The pair got off lightly, with Price fined $1,500. By the time Bevan's case came to court, the lack of evidence against him led to a full acquittal. Even those hacking for the right side of the law can go rogue. In 2003, computer hacker Albert Gonzalez was working as an administrator for the website shadowcrew.com, which held auctions for stolen credit card information before he was arrested by the Secret Service. On his arrest, he began cooperating with the authorities, and thanks to his information, they put away nearly 30 of his fellow hackers. But despite his cooperation with the Secret Service, from 2005 to 2007, Gonzalez is believed to have been the ringleader in a hacking operation that stole approximately 175 million credit card numbers. That takes balls, as does going with the 50 Cent inspired operation name Get Rich or Die Trying. During his spree, it was rumored that he threw himself a $75,000 birthday party and that he once complained about having to count $340,000 by hand. The total amount of money stolen from the victims remains undisclosed, but in 2010, Gonzalez was eventually caught and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Back in 2008, when the world was slowly sliding into the economic abyss of the credit crunch, a 58-year-old unidentified Greek mathematician was arrested in Athens under suspicion of conducting potentially one of the most damaging hacks ever. The hacker, going by the name Astra, allegedly hacked into the French military contractor Dassault and spent 5 years stealing sensitive weapons technology information. According to Greek officials, Astra caused more than $360 million worth of damages to Dassault. But Astra's mischief doesn't end there. He then set about selling the information, which contained intelligence on military jets used by India, Egypt, and France, for $1,000 a pop to anyone who wanted it. Astra has never been officially identified, but security analysts have said that the culprit was an insider who gained illegal access. For his crimes, he was sentenced to 6 years in jail. British citizen Gary McKinnon has been called the most dangerous hacker in history after being accused of hacking 97 United States military and intelligence systems over a 13-month period starting in 2002. On one network alone, he caused 2,000 computers to be shut down, deleting weapons logs and other important files. During another hack, McKinnon got straight to the point and left a message, "Your security is crap," on the US military's website. According to McKinnon, this campaign of messing with the Americans was largely to do with his attempts at trying to find evidence of UFOs. After hacking into NASA websites, he claimed to have found images of extraterrestrial spaceship. He also claimed that he'd uncovered an Excel spreadsheet detailing the names of non-terrestrial officers who work in the US Air Force, as well as the details of a space program named Solar Warden. He was eventually detained in 2002 when an American grand jury indicted him and called for his extradition. However, he wasn't handed over, and 10 years later, the British government threw out the case against him.